Hello everyone, welcome back to Vision Studios, and today I have an amazing effect to show to you. Yes, exactly this one. So many of you have asked how I made it. Today I'll be just breaking out that effect, and here you can see I have my default workspace. After a long time I'm using it, and all the nodes are switched off right now. Let me just show you one by one what I did. So for this final effect, we have three things. First is the background, obviously. Then we have that watery effect. Lastly, we have our own subject. So first we'll see how I made that cube, and then we'll be creating that background. See, the cube is obviously in 3D because in 2D I don't know how to bend things right now in Fusion. Once I'll know it, so I'll create everything in 2D itself because 3D is really slow in Fusion, but whatever. So I use 3D for the cube. So I have this cube, okay? If I just enable it and show it to you guys, you can see right now, nothing is happening because my materials are turned off. Yes, in 3D, there are materials which you put on objects, okay? I guess that you have basic knowledge or basic overview of 3D. Actually, the thing is, I'm not able to produce too much content at this time. So that's why I'm not able to provide you enough information of 3D in Fusion, but I'll be producing it really soon. Till then, try to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so this is our subject or object, you can say. In Cube 3D, if I just show you the simple basic shape 3D, hit F in my viewer and change it to lighting. Right now you can see our shape, and if I change it to maybe cube, yeah, okay. In this cube, I don't have any setting to, change material to all the sides separately. So what I mean by that? What I mean is, if I go to material and change it to maybe yellow or orange, all the sides will have this, which I don't want. I want this one to have different and this one to have different, like the front, right, top, bottom, all sides should have different colors. That's what I want. I can't do that in the basic shape 3D. But in Cube 3D, we have that power. Right now I can't view it because my materials are turned off. Okay. In my Cube 3D, let me just remove all of it for a moment, then you might be able to see what is happening over here. I'll click this, hit F, and this is our Cube 3D. All right, I'll go to first frame so that it's easy for you. We have some keyframes on the width. I'll go into that later. That's animation part. Here, I can change the material of each side separately. If I go to the material and boom, whichever face I want to change the material, I can choose that and change the material. Okay. It's that simple. But the crazy part is I put the same material onto all sides of this cube. Okay. So if I just enable the material, let me just show you how I made the material first. So first I have this background. Okay. You can see very basic, very simple, simple plain background. Then I have this merge, and onto this merge, what I have is these three layers. Now what is this? Well, first things first, in this background, I have a 4-corner gradient type. Okay, it's not gradient, but it is gradient, guys. The 4 corners are mixing or blending with each other. And I have this color palette, which is blue, pink, violet, and a peachish or yellowish, you can say, this color. So very nice gradient. But I wanted something more. So what I did was, I added another color layer. How? I have this polygon. Okay, this is the mask. You can see it's very slight, very thin. And then we have this background. The color is set to violet. And then with Gaussian blur, I blurred it more, so it's very slight. You might not notice it. Let me just do this so that you will be able to see it. It just darkens the middle part. That's it, nothing else. Again, same thing, but this time with rectangle. It's for the corners of it now. So you can see like the border, basically the border is now shining. Okay, it's making it look like it's scattering, subsurface scattering, something like that. I don't know the proper definition, how to like define this effect, but it just makes it look more smoother, icy, something like that. So yeah, it was just looking cool. That's why I just added it. Now I wanted my material to be shiny. Okay, and for that we have a node for that in Fusion, which is known as Cooktorrents. If I enable it, and if I view it, you can see right now we don't have that much roughness, and also the opacity is a little bit down, so it's a little bit transparent too, you can say. And then what we have is this reflect node. What this reflect node does basically is, I just told you, I want reflections on my cube. So how to do that? Well, for that, I have a map, which is obviously known as reflection map. I named it, but I'm using a map. Okay. Because of that, we are getting those reflections. And the crazy thing is, the Cooktorrents output is going into the reflects background material. Okay. So the yellow input. That's why the base layer is this Cooktorrents one. So the base texture of material is this. Now on top of it, we'll put reflections. Okay, and I have this reflection map. You can take an image also, because what we are doing here is, let me just show you really quickly. If I just pull this up, and remove this lighting panel. What I'm doing here is, I'm creating my own scene All right. Now in this scene, I have some objects. Now these objects will reflect onto the material which I have over here. Okay. So I am creating my own reflections however I want it. So I did something like this. Actually, I saw this in a YouTube video, so I have just recreated it, but whatever. And how I did it was very simple. I took a shape, duplicated it a lot, then again a shape, duplicated it, then a shape, duplicated it, again a shape, duplicated it. And with that, we have all these planes duplicated. All right. Now I'm using a camera, but it's not duplicated normal camera 3D. It is duplicated spherical camera. Spherical camera is basically duplicated, which takes 360 images. Okay, it's just like that. So, and when I view this renderer, you can see the spherical camera is basically taking a 360 image of the scene and giving us an HDRI. You can call it that, or maybe not HDRI, but a 360 image, which we'll be using as a map. And lastly, this renderer 3D is going into my sphere map. Now in the sphere map, if I hold Alt and with my middle mouse button, move it, you can see this is a 360 image. Okay. And now the output of this sphere map will go into the, so lastly what we have is, we have this 360 image plugged into a sphere map. And because of that, so instead of just putting it right away like this, I'll right click, hold, and then put it, or maybe you can do left click plus Alt hold, so it will do the same thing. And now reflection color material. Okay. And now if I view this reflection, you can see we have some changes. Textures are messed up a bit. Why? Because I did that Alt and middle mouse kind of thing, so that's why. Now you can see we have some reflections on our material. Well, if you don't want to see this on sphere, if you want to see this on cube, because we'll be using that only, so I'll just right click over here and onto material viewer, go to shape and choose any other shape other than sphere. So for example, let us choose this cube, and again Alt and middle mouse, and now you can see how it will act. It's looking really good, to be honest. Now let's do one thing. I'll not take this Cooktorians. I'll take this reflect and put it into this material. Let's choose front. All right. So now if I'll view this cube and click on this, hit F, you can see on front we have material. The thing is, I use same material on every side. So yes, I'll just right click and give this material to each one of it so that we have it on every side. Now you can see we have this sort of reflections. So it's making it look like glass, you know, sort of that. And I think it's looking really good. So yeah, that's it. That's how I made this glassy cube. Now one more thing. In this cube, if I go to controls, I have a keyframe onto this width. Well, why is that? To make that sort of animation, we will be changing the width of this cube too. Okay, so that's why on 100, its width is increased to 3. On 200, it's again 1. If I go to spline, cube 3D, you can see it over here. Okay, and it's looped also. So how to loop keyframes? Select all, right click, go to loop and check this, and it is looped. So it will happen after 200 also. All right, now I'll close spline. And also, yeah, one more thing, the keyframes are smoothened out. Earlier it was like this. Okay, this is linear, but how did I make it like this? I select all, hit F, then T, press T, and here I ease in a bit. Okay, increase the ease in number and also increase the ease out number. That's it. You can lock it, but I don't want to, so I'll just go with the flow. Yeah, so that's it. Now I can remove this shape 3D. Okay, so that's how you create a material, this sort of material. I hope it's very simple to you now. If you want this file, so the link is provided in the description below. It contains everything, this reflection map and everything. And by the way, you don't need to use this reflection map. Like, you don't need to add so many nodes to create a reflection map. You can just simply use an image also. I wanted my reflections to be in certain way, so that's why I did this. And by the way, the truth is, I didn't know how to create a reflection map earlier back then, and I watched some video, and in that video, that guy made this type of reflection map. That's why it's like this. Okay, so truth is that. So now we have our cube. Its width is increasing and decreasing. Okay, so now what? The next thing is transform. I'll enable it and view it. Well, what is happening over here? You can see what is happening. It's rotating on x-axis while the width is increasing and decreasing. The keyframes is at the same place. First is at 100. Sorry, second one is at 100, and third one is at 200. And I hope that I did the same thing on the spline. Yes, it is pretty much same, 72, 71, and they are smoothened out instead of linear and eased in and eased out a bit. Oh, so actually the ease in and ease out values are different, 63 and 63. That's how it is. And my X rotation is changed on this transform. So 0, it's at 0. At 100 frame, my X rotation is at -360. So it's taking a whole round and then coming back. So something like that. Now it's fine, but it's looking like a brick. I don't want to make it look like brick. I want some, jello type of thing in it. How to bring that? That's done with Blender. If I enable it and show this to you guys, what I did in Blender was I have the Blender type 2 twist, and on the x-axis I'm increasing the amount. So on 0 it's like this, then on 50th it's it's not actually, because of that reflection thing you might not be able to view it properly, but yeah, it's 0.25. Then on 100 it's again 0, then again on 150 it's minus 0.25, then again 200 it's 0. So we have divided those 3 part of keyframe into 6. So first is at 0, then 50, then 100, then 150 and 20, each at a differentiation of 50 frames. Okay, and if I click spline, I will click it and zoom to fit to view, and if I select all, you can see we have smoothened it a lot. Like I select all, then hit F, and again ease in and ease out values is increased to 50-50. Okay, giving us this sort of smooth animation. Now if I play, wow, it's very beautiful. And yeah, by the way, my playback is set to quarter. So, and also my high quality is unchecked and proxy and auto proxy is checked. So that's why it's looking a little bit pixelated and stuff like that. So yeah, please manage a bit. Actually, my software crashes when I play this at full quality. So that's why. And it's not even at 4K. It's just 1080p. If I just show you my project settings, it's 1080, 24 FPS clip. That's it. Not even 60. But actually this is at 60 FPS. Okay. So yeah, keep that in mind. Then we have some lights. I don't know why I use lights, even though I didn't want it to, because anyways I was using a software renderer. So maybe I was trying something out. So if I go into lighting, you can see, so I use this sort of lighting, but anyways I will not be using ambient light and spotlight. So I can just select both of these and yeah, do this. After that I add the camera. Okay, in this camera you can see what is happening. The settings are somewhat like this. Scale and transform is something like this. So that's why we are getting a view. Let me just change it to camera. Yeah, we are getting a view something like this because of the scale and all the values. Okay, so now I'll again go to perspective, and yeah, that's it. Now I'll go to render 3D and see how it looks over here. Very nice. It looks so good. Wow guys, if I show you this, just a moment, I want to see this in hardware renderer. Why did I added those lights? Maybe I was doing something, I don't know. I was exploring, I don't know. Yeah, so let me just make it make the time and proxy resolution to full. Yeah, it's, see how slow it is. It's stuttering, but again it's so smooth and so good. I just like it a lot. And if I change to hardware renderer, okay, yeah, I understood now. So I will just disable all these, and in render I'll choose software renderer. That's it, nothing else. So that's how you make this sort of cube. Let's do a recap, and I will change it again back to quarter, otherwise I'm done. So first things first, obviously we needed this cube. Okay, we were going to make our animation onto this cube, because I don't know how to bend and twist and do all those kind of things into a 2D object in Davinci Resolve Fusion. That's why I chose this Cube 3D, and it's very easy to do for me in Cube, in 3D to animate this cube in this sort of way, like twist, bend, and do all those kind of things with the help of Blender 3D. Okay, that was my first main thought at that time. And today also, I don't know how to do this in 3D or 2D. So if you know how to do this kind of stuff like twist, bend, and all those things in Fusion, in 2D, so please comment down below. I want to learn. Okay, so first things first, we needed this Cube 3D. Okay, and by the way, this animation was pre-planned, so I knew what I needed. That's why I was able to do it. Anyways, first we had this cube. Okay, nice, but it was not looking like this. Why? Because of the map. So what did I do? Shit, it's gone. Davinci crashed. See, that's the problem with it. Yeah, it's gone. It's crashed now. Shit. We're back, guys. Even though I changed it to quarter, it still froze and closed Davinci Resolve. See, that's why I'm scared of it. I'll just, disable all these. Yeah, you too also. And then I will disable everything just to give you guys a recap of how I made things. Material. First things first, I chose the background. Alright. In this background, I chose this type, 4 corner, and then changed all the 4 colors. Simple and very basic. Then with the help of this polygon, I masked out this background, okay, this purple background with the help of this polygon and all these settings. You can see the settings over here, okay, just like that, and blurred it out even more with Gaussian blur and put it on top of that background, which gave it this sort of nice purpley look. Then we have this rectangle, okay, you can see the settings over here. We have this white background. I put that mask onto this white background to get this sort of white leakage effect, you can say. Then again Gaussian blur. With Gaussian blur I blurred it more. Then with merge I put this on top, and you can see it just makes it so much better, man. I just love this. Then with the help of Cooktorrents, I was able to get this type of material. And again, if you're wondering how I changed my material viewer from a sphere to this cube, so I just went into the material viewer and in shape, right click over here and change the shape to whichever shape you want. I can change it to even this stories, plain, simple plane. Actually, this is better, to be honest. Whatever. I think the sphere is better. Sphere is best. Reflect, I added some reflections. How? With this reflection map. Okay, it is nothing, it's just an image of 360 HDRI, or not HDRI, just a 360 image. And then with the help of reflect, I was able to add these reflections onto my cube. Okay, I chose cube 3D just for more customizations over material. I'll change this viewer again from lights to solid, and you can see we have those class reflections. Very nice. Then with the help of and also in this cube, then with the help of this transform, bender and cube itself, I was able to animate it. How? In this cube, I have some setting of known as width, with which I can change the width obviously of this cube. So that's what I did over here. And in the spline, you can see all the curvy thing which I did over here. So yeah, I eased it inside and outside both the ways. And then with the help of transform, what I did was just rotated it on X value. Well, you can say I can do the same within cube itself with the help of this rotation. Well, again, I wanted more, what's that called? More customization, more options, more flexibility. Okay, so that's why. Then with the help of this bender, I was able to twist it on X-axis. Okay, just like this. Really nice to give this a very squishy effect. And by the way, if you will try it, this will not look like this. Why? Because my subdivisions are increased. Width, height, depth, all of these 3 are increased to 50. Then with the help of the merge in camera, I was able to render it. Okay, I changed obviously the camera settings and I put it somewhere around here. And in the render, and also my camera settings look something like this. Yeah, by the way, it's not perspective, it's orthographic. That's why you will not be able to see all the settings which you usually see in perspective mode like this. Okay, so yeah, keep that in mind. And lastly, we have this render 3D, and in this render 3D, I chose software render, and boom, we have this cube, which is our subject. Okay, now let's talk about other stuff. What do you mean by other stuff? Like creating the background, obviously. So how do we create the background in the back? First of all, we have again this background. Okay, it's a gradient, a linear gradient, and the simple one. See, the color is not white, it's somewhere around here. Okay, aquaish, something like that. So then we have a special thing. We have a new node, which is trip node, and a rectangle and a background. So let me just remove it for now. And this trip, let's see what is happening. In this background, what we have is a radial gradient. Okay, in this radial gradient, we have these 2 colors. Very simple. In this rectangle, if I just enable it, I took out that part because I just needed that much only. In this rectangle, we have a really high soft edge. Okay, and then with the help of trip, I was able to add this, watery effect, which looks really cool. Settings is somewhat like this. The center X value, aspect, amplitude, dampening, frequency, all the settings. But the phase setting, we have an expression over here. So to add an expression, right click and choose this expression, or double click, hit equals to and enter, and you will have this expression. Okay, I'll just undo it. Yeah, just like that. And here I type time/24. What does that mean? That means this. Okay, at every 24 seconds, this phase value will increase by succession of 1. So if I go to 24, the value will be 1. If I go to 48, the value will be 2. Okay, just like that. So time/24. Then I have this merge. Why? Because boom, to get this sort of effect. This is looking super cool. We have the drip over here and put it onto this background and it looks something like this. Right now, you might not like it, but later you will, definitely. So after that, we are putting the cube on top of it. How? With the help of this, I have this background, this merge, nothing, it will be just, as it is, looking as it is. Then with the help of this merge, I'm putting that on top of it, like this. See, still right now, it's not looking that great. They both are looking like they are from different scenes and not made for each other, but we will get them into a relationship, okay? And we'll make them for each other. How? You can see after this renderer, I also have this drop shadow. Actually, the output of this render 3D is going into 2 inputs. First one is this one and second one is the drop shadow. Why? To get this shadow. You might not see it here, yeah, but in alpha you can see that. Okay, so this shadow is drop shadow. That is it. So I'll remove this alpha and the settings are changed a bit of this drop shadow. I don't know why I added this merge, but yeah, whatever. And then we have the instance of this strip. To make an instance of any node, what you can do is just click on that node, hit Ctrl+C. Now you have that copied in your clipboard. Now to make an instance of it, hit Ctrl+Shift and V. Now what is this instance? Instance is a node which is just exact duplicate of this node. The crazy part is if you change anything over here, it will also be changed in instance. Okay, so yeah, it's something like this. That's why I have this instance, and this, the drop shadow, okay, only the drop shadow is going into the instance strip. So if I enable it and boom, you can see what is happening. See why I did that. And obviously I have the rectangular mask over here so that it's affecting just the drop shadow and not the subject itself. Let me tell you what is happening over here. The render 3D contains this cube. The drop shadow adds this shadow, okay, this one. The thing is, I just wanted this drop shadow and not this body itself. So, and why I added this instance strip is because, let me just remove this alpha. Over here in the shadow, I wanted a shadow of it. Obviously, it's water. That's why I added this drip effect. In water, it will reflect. That's what I wanted. But I also wanted the shadow of it to displace, with the drip. So if I were to remove this instance strip and enable the merge right now, just like this, and view it, so the shadow will look something like this. But in reality, if you will have these swirls in water and if you will see your face or anything in that, the reflection will also get displaced, just like how water is getting displaced. So for that, I added it, and now you can see what I mean by that, or what I meant by that. Okay, this is without and with. See, that's why. And the rectangle is because I just wanted this lower part. That's it. Oh yeah, this instance is affecting just the lower part. Okay, yeah. So then we come to OFX. In OFX, you can see I have this glow. I'll enable it. In this glow, my settings are somewhat like this. Then I have this soft glow. Yeah, settings are somewhat like this again. Okay, in the soft glow, then I have aperture diffraction. This aperture diffraction, again, settings are somewhat like this. You can just copy them. Then I have some film grain. I will view this in full. Just my software should not, crash. That's what I want. Let's take a good frame. Yeah, something like this. You can see very slight green, but it's still there. So, something like, and now let me just make it. Okay, so lastly, I have vignette. Let me just view it. Yeah, and that is it. And this is our final effect with the node tree. So that is it, guys, how I made this. I hope I was able to make you understand how I made this. If not, I'm really sorry. I'm just working on my explanation a bit more. Okay, and if you have any suggestions, comment down below. If you have any tutorial suggestions, comment that down below. Any sort of suggestion on increasing the quality of this video or anything, just comment it down below. I learn from it. And yeah, that is it for this tutorial. All the links are in description below. If you want the file, that's also in the description below. There will be a link. Click on it, you'll be headed to there and just get that file really quickly. Okay, one more thing, don't forget to join our Discord server. See you in the next one. Till then, peace out.